Rebel Yell Podcast, Trib Live High School Sports Network, wrapping up week 7, the start of the stretch run, as we call it around these parts of the 2025 high school football season. A lot of great efforts in what was another wonderful Friday night for high school football. So, a salute. Hey, 2-0. A lot of teams doing a lot better than 2-0. Let's strike up the band and run them down. There were 7 matchups between undefeated conference teams, and some of them were kind of one-sided. All right, let's do it in week 7. Class 6A, Central Catholic beat Norwin on Thursday, 35-6 on Friday. North Allegheny continues their spell. They have never lost to Cannon McMillan. They didn't on Friday, 21-13 the final. Brady Brinkley, 15 of 24 passing, 208 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the winning Tigers. Caden Parker, 180 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Seneca Valley, 47. Hempfield, 8. First conference win for Seneca Valley. They're now 1-3. Hempfield falls to 1-4, and they are in trouble as far as playoff hopes are concerned. Jaden Taylor to Carter Bonner. Those two hooked up for 2 touchdown passes, one of 41 yards, one of 6 yards. Penn Hills comes from behind to knock off Mount Lebanon, 19-14. Class 5A, that's by the way, a 5A versus 6A non-conference game, the Indians and the Blue Devils. 5A, Allegheny 6 conference. Peters Township remains undefeated. Nolan DeLucia, 14 of 25 passing, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns. Indians 31, South Fayette 7. Dante Corey, 144 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Upper St. Clair hammers rival Bethel Park 57-32, and Moon keeps Baldwin winless 40-7, the final score there. Big East Conference in Class 5A. Cam Walter, 9 of 15 passing, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. Woodland Hills 42, Gateway 28. The Wolverines remain alone in first place in the Big East. Ben Grabowski, 172 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Penn Trafford 48, Franklin Regional 14. The Warriors in second place at 3-1. Right behind them at 3-2, Kiski area. The Cavaliers surge continues. Landon Artman, 22 of 33 passing, 289 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cavaliers 27, Armstrong 25, second straight loss for the Riverhawks. 5A Northeast Conference, Aaron Aversa, 12 of 21 passing, 134 yards and a touchdown. Shaler wins at North Hills 17-14. Titans are 2-6 this year. They're 2-1 and tied for second place in the Northeast Conference. Plum wins 35-0 over Fox Chapel. First conference win for the Mustangs. Elijah Jackson, 162 yards on the ground for the winners from Purple and Gold. 5A non-conference, Pine Richland 43, Latrobe 7. Aaron Strader, 2 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs for the Rams. 2 of those touchdown passes went to Khalil Taylor, the not Penn State commit. He is uncommitted. He also, Taylor, returned a punt, 67 yards for a score as the Rams improved to 7-1. Class 4A, Big 6 Conference. Trinity in first place after winning over Chartiers Valley 42-18. Owen Gardner, 222 yards and a touchdown for the Hillers. Jonah Williamson, talented senior quarterback, 163 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Hillers in first place at 3-0. Chartiers Valley now 2-1, tied for second place with Thomas Jefferson. The Jaguars win at home over Ringgold 42-6. Tyler Eber, 279 yards, 6 touchdowns for the Jags. Curtis Wade, half that, 3 touchdowns. Bell Vernon 48, Laurel Highlands 6. 4-way tie for the top spot in the Parkway Conference. West Allegheny, Newcastle, Aliquippa, Montour all 2-1. Newcastle loses for the first time in conference play at home on Friday, 24-14 to West Allegheny. Brody Cornell, 145 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns for the winning Indians. J.J. Work, 138 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Aliquippa, 34. Blackhawks, 17. Brandon Bennett, 134 yards on the ground and a score. Montour, 55. Ambridge, 21. Battle for first place in 4A's Greater Allegheny Conference goes to McKeesport. Tigers at home roll over Mars, 56-31. Keemon Spell, 236 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. I think he's okay. Tigers now 3-0 in the conference. Mars falls to 2-1. Hampton improves to 2-1. 38-0 whitewash of Knock. Jack Halley, 9 of 18 passing, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns for the Talbots. West Mifflin wins their first conference game, 42-6 over Indiana. Armand Hill, 180 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns for the Titans. 3A's Western Hills Conference, Avonworth remains perfect, 49-0. They shut out McGuffey. In overtime, North Catholic 49, Beaver 42. Joey Felitsky, 14 of 19 passing, 262 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Trojans, who win it in OT on a Jackson Shade 10-yard touchdown run. Trojans now 3-1. Bobcats fall to 2-2. Central Valley's 4-1 in the Western Hills after a 63-21 victory over Quaker Valley. Braddock Ambrose, 6 of 8 passing, 132 yards and a touchdown. Interstate Conference, Southmoreland 8-0, 3-0 atop the conference. Cam Lee returns the game's opening kickoff, 88 yards. Southmoreland never looks back as they blank Mount Pleasant, 14-0, first conference loss for the Vikings. Elizabeth Forward also 3-0. Ryan Messina, 6 of 8 passing, 143 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, has yet to throw an interception this year. EF 55, Yawk 7. Derry 43-28 over Greensburg Salem. Max Doherty, 122 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Trojans win their first conference game of the season. 3A non-conference, Nasir Wade, 175 yards rushing and a touchdown. Hopewell 48, Freeport 20. Both teams are 6-2 after that one. All right, let's go to 2A now. One of the eyebrow raisers of Week 7 happens in the Midwestern Athletic Conference, where Mohawk hands Western Beaver their first loss of the season, 40-20. Bobby Fadden, a touchdown run and a 35-yard pick six for the winning Warriors. Tyler Smiley, 14 of 22 passing, 297 yards, 5 touchdowns. Elwood City, 48, Riverside, 14. Both the Wolverines and Panthers now 3-2 in the MAC. Tied with Western Beaver for first place at 4-1. How about Beaver Falls? The Tigers win the Little Brown Jug, 39-24 victory at Oak Hill over New Brighton. Tigers lost their first 4 games of the year. They've now won 4 straight, and they're 4-1 in the conference. Christian Dawkins, 180 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns for the winning Tigers. Freedom 20, Union 14, Caden Bailey, 170 yards rushing and 2 scores for the Bulldogs. 2A's Century Conference, Tristan Reed, 6 of 7 passing, 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, including a touchdown run. Washington cruises past Charleroi, 61-9. Owen Gerhardt, 200 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Keystone Oaks bounces back after losing to Wash High last week. They're now 4-1 in the Century Conference, a 21-14 winner over Waynesburg Central. And Stowe Rocks wins their first game of the year, 8-6 over Carleton. Allegheny Conference, Elijah Cook, 9 of 15 passing, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. South Allegheny 35, Apollo Ridge nothing. Gladiators all alone in first place at 5-0. They are 8-0 on the season. Quinton Napper, 152 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. South Park wins their first conference game of the season, 42-21 over Ligonier Valley. To Class A we go. We'll start in the Big 7 conference. Andrew Corfield, 256 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Southside, 35. Neshannock, 7. Lucas Santina, 6 of 9, passing for 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. Laurel shuts out Shenango, 42-0 next week. Laurel against Southside, both teams atop the Big 7 with 4-0 records. Northgate wins their first game of the year, 22-12 over the Summit Academy. Showdown for first place in Class A's Black Hills Conference goes to Fort Cherry. The two-time defending champs win big, 59-19 over Bishop Canavan. Matt Sieg, incredible. He is now the WPIAL's all-time yardage leader. That's passing yards, rushing yards combined. He rushed for 270 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. He also had a punt return for a score and an 86-yard pick six. That's the icing on the cake as the Rangers blow out the Crusaders by 40. Aaron Walsh, 113 yards rushing. Chartiers Houston, 35. Sarah Catholic, nothing. Caden Colbeck, 2 touchdowns, including a 69-yard interception return for a score. Monessen, 40. Burgettstown, 21. Eastern Conference, Clareton, 48. Leechburg, nothing. Jeff Thompson, 7 of 11 passing, 129 yards and 2 scores. Clareton's 6th straight win, their 6th straight shutout. Derek Diamond, 284 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns. Frazier beats Riverview 41-20. Both teams now 2-0 in the conference. Kaimani Brown, 149 yards passing and a touchdown, 128 yards rushing and a score. Jeanette, 23. Brentwood, 18. Big win for the Jayhawks, who are 3-2 and all alone in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. Samir Crosby, 3 touchdown runs and a touchdown pass. 52-14. Greensburg Central Catholic wins over Springdale. Tri-County South, another undefeated team, goes by the wayside. Jefferson Morgan loses and loses big at Bentworth, 35-13. Both teams are now 4-1, tied for second place in the conference behind California. Malachi Peak, 150 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Trojans, 50. West Green, nothing. Will Murray, 2 touchdowns. Carmichael's wins their first game. They upset Avella, 14-13, dropping the Eagles into 4th place at 3-2. Brody Bebout, 6 of 9, passing 155 yards and a touchdown. Beth Center, 48. Mapletown, nothing. Class A non-conference, Cornell, 45. Rochester, 8. The Raiders are now 5-3. City League regular season title goes to University Prep. Wildcats upend Westinghouse by a score of 20-14. Perry, in a non-district game, won their first game of the year, 14-12 over Carrick on Thursday. City League semifinals are next week. University Prep finishes first, Westinghouse second, Alderdice third, Brashear fourth. So Brashear will take on University Prep in one semifinal, Westinghouse against Alderdice in the other semifinal at Couple Stadium next week. Speaking of Alderdice, they lost to Butler 35-8. The Golden Tornadoes 6-2. Red Bank Valley knocks off Brashear 38-6. The Bulls 1-7 heading into their playoff game next week. Albert Gallatin 8-0. They win at home over Hedgesville, West Virginia, 40-14. University West Virginia, University High School out of West Virginia, wins at home over Connellsville, 52-12. Falcons 1-7. The other Falcons, playing an independent schedule, Brownsville, now 0-6 after losing to Myersdale, 54-0. And Uniontown falls at home to Northern Garrett, Maryland, 38-0. So there you have a busy Friday in week 7. As we begin the stretch run, we will update the playoff picture as we traditionally do over the weekend at tribhssn.triblive.com. As far as the podcast, you know, the standard is the standard. We will have our Player of the Week podcast Monday, Team of the Week on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we get you ready for Week 8 of the high school football season. Big kudos to Chris Lackner. A job well done all weekend long. Hope you enjoyed it. We enjoy bringing it to you as we're winding down high school football, the regular season. High school soccer and volleyball also winding down. In fact, we'll have the playoff pairing shows. Soccer playoff pairing show Wednesday afternoon. Girls volleyball playoff pairing show Friday afternoon before Week 8. So check it out. Check out our website for times of those shows. I'm Don Rebel. Thank you for joining us. The Rebel Yell podcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.